I'd like to introduce the judges. We've got Mr. Keith Barrow from the head of Shropshire Council, which we're very privileged to have with us today. We've got Alison Patrick, the Tourism Officer for North Shropshire, and obviously does an incredible amount of work in the area, very knowledgeable. And then we've got Louise, which has very kindly brought the students along from North Shropshire College to provide their presentations and their ideas, their fresh ideas for the North Shropshire area and the Shropshire as a whole. So we're very excited, and we're just about to, Louise, if you could just introduce the first collection of students, that would be great.
That's fine. Remember your names. We've got Nia Bailey, we've got Polly Jones, and we've got Lizzie Baines, and these are Year 1 Travel and Tourism students at the college.
Marvellous.
We've brought along some biscuits to show, and these are representing SO, which is our line Save Oswestry. And we've got some leaflets, which we think is one of Oswestry's strong points in what they're currently doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then this is just if you want to have a quick read through. This is quite a couple. That's our motto.
Gosh, you've done a lot of...
I know.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of
Some leaflets we think that could be handed out in the local areas to help advertise Oswestry. Oh yeah. So, Save Oswestry. This is our SWOT analysis, which we'll now read out to you.
We think one of the strengths of Oswestry is the fact it is known as a market town, and quite a lot of people do come to Oswestry for the market, and it is in a good location with pretty good transport links.
However, we think the weaknesses is that Wrexham, Chester and Shrewsbury offer more than what Oswestry does, and people prefer to go to these places. It also doesn't have any rail links, so if the rail was reopened, it could make it better. And there isn't really much. When we looked at how people are travelling to Oswestry, I found that nobody actually came on a train because the railway station within Oswestry is shut and people can't catch a train to the town. There are good road links to and around Oswestry as people come from different directions, and there is a central bus station travelling from the local areas into Oswestry, meaning people from around like local towns, Animalic, stuff like that can come through.
I think that Oswestry could benefit from having like a cycle link, and it would also make them look like an environmentally friendly town, as cycle links are popular now and they're a lot cheaper than driving and catching public transport.
I think that there is good car parks on Oswestry, and there's quite a few, but some people can be put off by having to pay. So on a couple of days, like Tuesday, Thursdays, Friday and Sundays, so it's just through the week, you can have free parking or parking at a cheaper rate to increase people coming to Oswestry.
Oh, we chose them days because the other days are the market days, so obviously people are going to come in whatever, but these days might encourage them to come when the market isn't on.
We then looked at the shopping. Wrexham, Shrewsbury, Chester and Oswestry have a large shopping area, and it's a lot of the reason a large number of people visit these places. I think Oswestry would benefit by adding more shops, both branded and solo owned, to encourage more visitors.
Oswestry is known as a market town, and I think that does give them a big advantage over the other surrounding towns, especially having it twice a week. I think that the British Ironworks Centre could look at selling some more products within the market to encourage them to buy it.
Okay. Criticism I can do. As long as it doesn't get any more severe.
There is then advertising. Shrewsbury advertised their location on TV, encouraging a lot of people to visit the town. I think Oswestry would benefit from this. We think that the council could also look at advertising Oswestry in newspapers from away, encouraging people to come to Oswestry. They're currently advertising in the local Chronicle.
There. I think they could use the space to hold more events like Ozfest, and I think if there's bigger acts at Ozfest, then people further away would travel more to come here because they really want to hear about the rolling acts.
I think that a lot of young people would travel to Oswestry if there was a larger choice of fast food restaurants like Shrewsbury and Wrexham have, because I travelled to fast food. we travelled in Welsh Pool. So I think I would come to Oswestry more if there was.
Well, you're going to get one soon, I think.
Yeah.
On the Smithfield side. I think Frankie
We will be here much more often, won't we?
We come.
Although the current tourist information centre may encourage the passing trade, I think that Oswestry would benefit from having one within the town centre so that people could go in and look what Oswestry does have to offer, rather than having to travel outside of the town.
Because when we go to I'm not saying this, it's not as big as, but when we go to places like Liverpool and even just the small marketplaces, we sometimes pop into the tourist information centre to go and see what we can go and
I think that's really interesting. So this one.
yeah, it's
It's too far outside the town.
But you know, no, there's one in the town centre. And that's my point. Nobody knows about it. No, that is true. It's the old Oswestry School building, Welsh School, which is
sorry.
No,
There's in the hotels we looked at. I think that having Travelodge and Premier Inn is a big bonus and will encourage a lot of people to visit Oswestry as the websites will promote these hotels. Over 9% of people stayed in a hotel within Oswestry. I think that North Shropshire should look at either offering more touring caravan holiday camps or improving ones they have.
With 62% of people visiting us with their children, we think that the council could look at offering more for children and teenagers, as there is very little obviously for that might be said previously. There is like Carpet Farm for the young children, but then for teenagers we don't really think there's that much. There's not things like cinemas or stuff like that.
We then looked at the attraction improvements. We think that to bring people in, an ice skating rink would, as there isn't one in the area, and we think that then it could also attract people from other closer towns like Welshpool and Newtown, as their closest ice rink is Telford. And so then, by having one in Oswestry, it is closer to home and not just these towns, but other villages and towns nearby, e.g. Wrexham. By having an ice rink in Oswestry, it would encourage people to visit the town. And then, by having an ice rink in the town, you could hold events in it to bring people in, like ice hockey, ice skating shows, and ice skating is popular with all young people.
I think by having cinema in Oswestry, it bringing more people of any ages really, because everyone likes to go see films, and it bringing in from the smaller towns, even from places like Welshpool, because they don't have to travel to Shrewsbury or Wrexham to go over there. So they have to just not travel as far almost, because it'll be in the closest town.
There is then the Oswestry show that we looked at. We think that they could improve the Oswestry show by having a top celebrity if they can get them for Ozfest, then they should try getting the top act for the show. This way then people will come to watch the show and also for this. I think they could improve this also by having some sort of nighttime entertainment like a disco or a hog roast, and then people would come for the day and they can make this a full day out. I also think that they could make it cheaper and then have prices for day tickets and night tickets. In the daytime, they could let under 5s in for free. This would attract more families. Also, they could make a ticket for the night time and daytime and knock like £1.50 off the entrance price. We're spending more money rather than...
It probably sounded really good when you said it.
It did in my head.
I think that we need more bins or some posters around that will encourage people to bin their litter. This way we are keeping the area tidy, as in some parts there are terrible litter problems. In Welshpool we have the recycle bins in the town centre, encouraging people to recycle, and I think this will make Oswestry look good.
Also it can like attract people if they know it's like a clean town, can't it?
And this is all
This
dedicated
is
around me.
fixed. I honestly
I've got to say, it's great initiative. That's what I'm saying.
It's because we've got the three of the
Yeah, we really like
We want more sculptures. I think that there should be more sculptures made by ironworks around the town, as this is a good advantage attraction that can bring people to Oswestry. They just aren't noticed enough. So by putting them sculptures around the town, it will bring people to them.
because a lot of people in the college have actually gone and had pictures. I mean, we've had pictures.
We took pictures with
and then we've
Yeah.
gone back home and be like, oh, look what's at our college. And then people are like, oh, where'd you get them from? And
I think it's brilliant.
yeah, we really like them.
Would you believe that some people were critical of the idea?
No.
Cost
think
us
a lot of
nothing.
people
Clive gave all those for
Yeah.
free. I actually think it's a brilliant idea.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
people will come and look at them as well.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
Any questions?
Well, I'd like to ask a question. So, it was just the three of you that did that. And how long have you actually spent on that project?
I spent
Because
that.
you've done a lot of work there,
Yeah.
haven't you? Including the baking.
We've done it for like 2 weeks, haven't we?
Yeah.
Have you?
Well, no, Louise told us how long ago was it? We
2-3
did-
weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'll let you know as soon as Amanda
Yes.
put the idea forward.
We've been doing it on and off because
Yeah,
obviously
because
we've
I've
finished our
also-
college work. But
Yes, yes.
I have enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
You've enjoyed doing the project.
Yeah.
They've done a lot, I think, out of college as well. I don't know when you did these leavers.
I did that last night.
A quick trip to Tesco, wasn't it? See what else we could.
And
So-
can I, a very good question I think is, why did you decide to call your project Save Oswestry?
Because we think it could go into decline because
Yeah.
Welshpool now doesn't have. We're from Welshpool, that's why we're saying about it. It doesn't have like a lot of people going there anymore because it just seems everything's closed
Shops are
down. There's nothing
closing.
to offer.
Yeah.
We've noticed it with our town.
I think Oswestry's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Rather than I know Welshpool's got like Palace Castle, but that's the only thing that there is that would encourage people to go there. Oswestry's got more.
Like now, like I said to the girls before, now since coming here and seeing like the animals in the back, I'd probably like bring my dad. It sounds stupid, but I'd bring my dad. Like I'd bring, oh dad, look up, we've come to
I think
see
a lot of people
because
would do that because then they could go
Yeah.
into Oswestry after it as well, couldn't they?
Yes, yeah.
it's just something different.
Tim, don't you dare say you haven't got this on film. Oh, you must have this on film. Well, ladies, you've done stunning. Alison, have you got any final questions?
Yeah, I just want to ask, some of the things that you suggested seem to be about making Oswestry the same as Shrewsbury, Wrexham and Chester, like the chains, you know, the food restaurants and things that you like. But then some of the things seem to be about making it different, and I just wondered
I don't
what
think
you
it's
thought about whether it needs to have more of those same things to
Yeah, I
compete,
think,
or whether it's more important to be different.
we don't really want to make it like if it's the same. If it's the same as Shrewsbury and Wrexham, then people will be like, oh, well, why go to Oswestry when you can go to like Wrexham if it's got the same things? But like, I haven't seen like the ironworks something like that in Shrewsbury. So if I was to decide to come, instead of cinema here, and I decided to come to cinema here, I might come like earlier so I could be able to just like show my friends the statues or something. So not necessarily like the same, but then you're trying to make it like different. Like, it made sense in my head, but I'm not sure it's making sense.
So
no,
you'd
I
like
think I know
to
what you're
see-
trying to say. Yeah.
I
You
think
need
I've got it
certain
now.
you need certain things to be
Yeah, because
to be
right now I
there.
prefer
Yeah.
to go to Shrewsbury or Wrexham rather than come here.
Yeah.
I think not a lot of young people do come to Oswestry because there's not really a lot to offer for them.
And something we had, something that I was meant to put on the presentation is a theatre. Not us as a theatre, but like you could put on like shows, like get local schools and that to put on shows. And then if you did that, then you could go there and then go and eat at one of the fast food restaurants.
Yeah, because I know the community comes together now, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
That's good.
Well, that's
Good idea.
absolutely
Yeah.
stunning.
The really good news is an awful lot of things you want are going to happen, because we've got a new cinema being
Well,
built
that's good.
on the Smithfield car park. There's a second cinema being opened in the town centre, a small private one, which I think is even better because you can have a beer and sit in it.
Yeah.
And they've got proper cinema seats, and that's a small.
So where's that?
That's in just up the road from the Butcher's Arms pub. Well, no, it's not the Butcher's. What's the pub called now? Just down the road from the library. You can tell where I am. Pubs or libraries. Just down that little chute from the library on the right, that building there, opposite the library car park.
Oh, right.
I think now
That's going to
attract
be,
young
and
people.
they do live events,
Yeah.
live theatre and stuff like that. So that's happening, which I think is very positive. You're going to get your Frankie and Benny's, I think, which is good. I was interested about the question about the recycling bins in the town centre.
Yeah,
I think that, when I go around the town centre, I think it's quite clean.
Oh yeah, it is. But we're just saying
Yeah,
to
I
help.
think it's dirty.
There's some
I wouldn't say it's dirty.
Places
No.
that we've noticed that.
There are bits and areas that need cleaning
Well, I
up.
suppose people have got it like joined together to that, haven't they? It's not
Yeah.
to just.
I think the recycle bins, because we've got them in Welsh, but they're like big black ones, paper, general,
And people do
cans.
Yeah.
Like, it just it makes it look a lot better.
Yeah, we've got them, but not
Yeah.
really in the town centre. So
Yeah.
that's good. That's a good idea.
I think there's an element as well, if you're attracting more visitors in and there's more people,
Yeah.
then there's going to be more litter as a result of that, isn't there? So
Yeah.
it's,
Are you in your final year book all now?
no.
No, the students, so we've got Callum and Molly who are going to present their ideas.
Fabulous, thank you.
Okay, I suppose we'll start. This is the background research that we found of the National Tourism, which is relevant to the slideshow that we're doing. As you can see there, obviously that's the direct, and it comes up to £126.9 billion, so obviously it's quite an important chunk of the UK economy. And this one here shows who spends the most money, so they spend that in millions, so that's like 2 billion something. 12% of all the spend in France.
Research of local tourism. The first map shows the main activities that people participate in. The biggest change is spending between 2007 and 2013, and the one that's changed the most, which has risen by 5%, is visiting historical sites in the area. By looking at what people spend their money on the most, it shows to then you know what you need to make better so that more people come. The second one is the number of nights that people are staying away from home. In the first one, that's nights away, and then in the second one, that's nights that are spent in northern Shropshire. The highest percentage is 2 nights away, and then the second one is no night staying, so it proves that there's more day trippers in northern Shropshire.
Right, this one shows what we've actually got in the area that brings the tourists in. So we've got a lot of stuff to bring people in, such as obviously here. The Union Canal, which brings in a lot of people from international places because they don't have canals in, well, North America, for example. And that brings a lot of people in because they go all over the country and you can get from one place to the other. The town market, because we're a market town, so it brings a lot of people in. They have crafts, they've got the food, they've got all the other things that they sell, such as like scarves and t-shirts and things like that. The Whittington Castle, along with the Church Castle, I suppose, which is just over the border, and then the Oswestry Museum, which is in the Guildhall on the Bailey Head, which has things such as medals and coats of arms and stuff that people have earned whilst they've been in Oswestry.
Facilities in the area. There are many different ways that people can get into Oswestry, such as on the train and then the bus, but most people use the car. The town is easily accessible from all places over the country. There's a lot of bus routes. There are also other facilities such as the many gyms where people are staying, for people that are staying for a longer period of time. There's car parks that are placed all around the town, and the public toilets as well.
Right, this one's about the accommodation and the restaurants that we've got in the town. At the top there, obviously, that's the example that we've got. It's just over here, which is the Premier Inn, and we've got the Windstay in the town centre, the Travel Lodge, which is just next to the Premier Inn over there. We've got things such as the B&Bs and everything in the town centre as well. We've got little sheds you can rent in people's gardens and things like that. Oswestry's got loads of different restaurants. We've got a range of prices, range of different sorts of meals like Indians, takeaways. We've got Chinese restaurants, kebab houses I suppose. And, well, obviously the English foods like burgers and stuff like that.
Appeal of the area. In the surveys that we looked at, there was a lot of people who said that Oswestry was very appealing to the eye, and that's one of the main reasons why they came. Oswestry brings a lot of walkers and people from the cities that want to go out and experience the countryside. When you go into the town centre, you are transformed from a rolling green countryside to a vibrant town. The town is full of culture and history, and many people are attracted to the fact that it's very affordable. There's lots of different things that will bring people to Oswestry, such as people who live in the surrounding areas and people who are driving through as well.
Done?
Yeah.
Right, this is our improvement suggestions for the area that we've chosen to make more people come here and more people make it easier for them to come here as well. This?
I'll do first one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. We've had an idea to do a park and ride, as sometimes the car parks are really busy. So if there was a bigger car park that more people could park in, and then catch the bus to town, we think that would bring more people to come into Oswestry. It'd bring more people in from Shrewsbury and the other surrounding areas. They'd be able to leave their car in the car park, and then there'd be different shuttle buses that go to and from. It would also bring a lot more employment into Oswestry.
The Plus Bus promotion that we've got on the buses will make it easier for people to get off the train and come into the town centre, because you can buy your ticket on the train that works on the bus as well, so you can use it for the return bus journey, and that's not very marketed well. So if more people know about this, then more people could get off at Bowen and come into Oswestry that way. Okay, right, Mile End Roundabout. It's not very attractive at the moment, and it's the busiest one in Oswestry, and they've just had the KFC and Starbucks installed because of the people driving through there, and there's like thousands of cars every other day, I'd imagine. We've got ideas to make it more aesthetically pleasing as you drive through, such as the flowers and sculptures in the centre, and that will make more people catch their attention and look at signs. And we want more signs that say where to go. Like when you go towards a city, they've got the little brown signs that point you towards attractions. It'd be better if we had them all on all the exits, because we don't have enough to point people in the directions of the things that we've got.
With looking at the surveys, there was one thing that people said a lot, that there wasn't enough for children to do. So we thought that would be good if we created a kind of trail that goes all the way around Oswestry, and they have to find different sculptures or things like that. And we were thinking to bring the whole community together, that a carnival that goes through the whole town would be good. So that just close it off and get everyone to come, and it would bring in a lot of tourists as well. And with there being a lot of the empty shops, with the events that are happening, to advertise in the empty shops so a lot of people know, and then it'd be also using the facilities that are available.
Right, marketing the things that we've just talked about here. We could use, at the moment obviously Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that is really popularly used, and you've got things like TripAdvisor and everything, and they'd be the best ways to advertise things in the area. So we could use Facebook and Twitter and all those to advertise the carnivals and the new park and ride services and things that we could introduce. And on the telly as well we could use, because when people are sat down as a family and you get like a destination advert come up, and people discuss it when they're sat as a family. We could use local radio stations in the area to bring in more local people into the town centre for things that we could introduce, such as the carnival, for example, and then use local radio stations up towards Chester and Bangor and places like that, because their train lines run through here.
We'll listen to the radio. It'd be better to use a local radio such as Shropshire Radio. This would be good to market different events that were happening so that people would know about them. And it would be people all over Shropshire instead of just around Oswestry as well. And also to use posters and the normal kind of advertising things.
Another idea that I had for marketing Oswestry was putting us into international airports such as Birmingham and Manchester, because when you go to the airport and you haven't quite planned all of your trip yet, we could put posters up, they could see us and want to come here whilst they're in the country, or think about us next time they visit. And things like that. Right, there you go. Shropshire was voted the most affordable tourist destination in the UK in 2014.
I didn't know
Did
you?
You would have
known,
It was in the
right?
Daily Mail. And
It was in the Daily Mail, it must be
there was
true.
That's a good point. There's a lot of social media around it.
Well, obviously here we've to Dumfries and Galloway in Scotland, so we're £2 cheaper than going up to Scotland.
So much
Every
easier
little
to
house
get
and all that.
It doesn't get better than that.
Obviously people have got less money now than they did, so everyone's going to want to spend less money on going away. So if they come here, then everything's more affordable apparently, so they won't have to spend as much money, and there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of free things for them to do here as well, which was always good. So that's that. There we go. And this is why we have an edge over our competing regions.
There's always projects going on in the town. The most recent example is the collection of spoons to build sculptures. They're collected from many different places around the town, and it's the first campaign of this type. Oshtry is extremely beautiful and is filled with lots of flowers and trees. It is naturally appealing to people, and people just like to come and look at it, really.
Obviously, the town centre has a lot of people that play banjos and accordions and stuff like that, so it's quite vibrant and musical and different to all the other places. And I've never been anywhere that's like Oswestry. There's different shops, like unique independent shops with gifts and other trinkets that you can buy. And obviously, the most affordable region in the country gives us an edge over everyone else as well.
Can I ask a question
Yeah.
about the park? Do you like the flowers in the park and the way it's laid
Yeah.
out?
Yeah.
But do you think it's old-fashioned and boring? You think it's good?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I'll leave that slide on actually, because that's the end. But that's any questions, anything?
Well, I'm sorry, if I kick off then. I mean, with regards to the team, the two of you, do you work well together? Did you find it easy to sort of do the project together, or were there clashes over your opinions?
Well, there wasn't clashes over the opinions, it was more that we distract each other.
Oh, do you? Yes, yeah.
Hey, something like that last
We
week.
didn't actually completely
Because they've
finish the PowerPoint until about a quarter of an hour before we left college this morning.
Oh,
Because
God.
they've been concentrating on getting schools so we can go to university.
That sounds
So
very
so it was
sensible.
very kind of last minute for these two.
Yeah.
But they've put in a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Do you
I
both... Oh, sorry, Alice.
No, I was going to say you started by having a look at some of the overseas markets.
Yeah.
Tourism, which I thought was interesting that you can start off. But then I wasn't quite clear as you went through whether you were suggesting we should go for getting more overseas visitors or more visitors from other parts of the UK. Was that something that you had a chance to think about?
Well, I did think about it whilst we were doing it, but I didn't realise that it put across all international tourists, to be honest. I think we should look more at both rather than one or the other, because there's a lot more people all around the world than there is in the UK. So looking at other places is really a better bet.
Yeah, this is Hannah, one of my first year students, presenting her ideas.
I'm going to start off by just giving you a little bit of information about the national tourism. In 2013, we had 32.8 million people come over to visit the country from overseas. This has helped us reach 4th out of 50 countries for tourism and for culture. The top 5 attractions in 2012 were British Museum, Tate Modern, National Gallery, National History Museum and the Victorian Albert Museum. Out of the visitors that came to the UK, 54% of the visitors visited London. 34% of them visited the rest of England, and 10% of them visited Scotland and Wales. Local tourism. Tourism in Shropshire was worth £560 million in 2005. Shropshire gets more day visitors than overnight visitors on average. Overseas visitors that come to Shropshire are generally from North America, Holland, Belgium, Scandinavia, Australia and New Zealand. Tourist attractions within the local area. We have the British Ironworks Centre, Oswestry Town Museum, the Oswestry Transport Museum, and in the surrounding area we have things like Park Hall, the Country Life Experience, Oswestry Hall Fort, Whittington Castle, and we've got the Oswestry Tour Guide. Facilities within the area. We've got the new leisure centre, we've got the venues, leisure facilities at Park Hall, Oswestry Library, Glass Park, regular buses in and out of the town centre, as well as a variety of hotels, public houses, restaurants and cafes.
The appeal to the area. The historical influences within the area, such as Oswestry Hill Fort and Wilfred Owen. It's on the border of North Wales and England. It's a central location to other tourist destinations within the area, as well as it being a rural area and the fact that it's a market town. My suggestions for improvement. We could use the British Library Work Centre. They could put on workshops that could give people the opportunity to have a hands-on experience within the centre by allowing them to design their own sculptures and assisting with creating current projects within the centre. Another suggestion is that we could use Wilfred Owen as a historical influence and celebrate his work and events as the dates appear in the calendar. My final suggestion is that we could use Oswestry Hill Fort by holding reenactment days for the events that happened historically during the Hill Fort. Marketing the products and services. To market products and services, we could use social media such as Facebook and Twitter. We could also use local and national press, including radio, newspapers and publications. We could also use advertising at other local events, including using posters and leaflets. Value for money. There could be an initial outlay of money, however, in the long run it would bring more benefits into the local economy. The more tourists that come into the destination, the more money they're going to spend, so the more money there's going to be spent in the area. Competitors. For the British Ironworks workshops, it's a unique idea and I haven't found anywhere else that offers this opportunity. The competition for the Iron Fort reenactments would be Whittington Castles, but the thing is they're at different periods, they're in a different period of time, so it would be alright. The main competitor for Wilfred Owen's events would be Shrewsbury's Charles Darwin. The impact in the local area. It'd bring more people into the area, increasing the spending and the footfall. There'd be more jobs for the local people, more income within the area, and it would benefit businesses and attractions in the surrounding area as people want days out. It could also improve the overnight tourism, which would benefit hotels and campsites. Any questions?
Well done.
Very good. The presentation, the visual presentation is wonderful.
I have a question, it puts you on the spot a bit, so I don't know how much you've been able to think about this, but what kind of people do you think would be attracted to by the ideas that you suggested to us?
We've got the history, so people that are interested in the history of Oswestry and specifically like the war with the Wilfred Owen, and then the iron, what happened at the Iron Fort, the Iron Hill Fort for the Iron Hill Fort. And the workshops could be like anybody, like families, to bring them in so they could have like hands-on experience what's happening here.
It's wonderful. Keith, do you have any final questions for Hannah?
No, I thought it was a really good presentation. I thought well done, Rachel and Sheila.
I'm Nessa.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Shannon.
We have looked into the strengths of Oswestry and we believe that the college is quite a big strength because obviously it's bringing a lot of young people into the area.
The venue, as it's bringing lots of young people to do sports in the area as well.
Yeah, we thought Aldi was because obviously you have like big brands like Tesco's, but Aldi's a lot cheaper, so people will travel to save money as
I completely agree.
people that have that much money at the
I
moment.
think Aldi's brilliant.
Parkour Farm because it's something for the younger generation to go and see.
Wide range of accommodation restaurants that people are going to come in, they have a choice of where to stay and where to eat.
The park and the flower gardens in Oswestry itself are like nice and you can go there in the summer, it's nice to sit and just be in the day area.
There's lots of good quality shops in the centre of town.
Ozfest, a big festival that brings loads of people into the area as well.
Do you guys go?
I haven't been, but I'm always away that weekend, so
You would go?
yeah, I would if I was here.
And then the ironworks are obviously the strength of Shropshire as it's a good business. Yeah.
See how he's smiling now?
I just wondering why I was last.
We also looked into the weaknesses on the street, of Oswestry. We think the local crime, although it's on a small scale, it's handled quite well, but it's still quite a bit.
Oswestry itself is quite cramped. There are a lot of similar shops next to each other, and it's also quite hard to get around once you're in the town, and traffic can be quite backed up and hard to navigate.
Even though there are good quality shops, there are quite a few empty shops as well on the high street, which kind of makes it look a bit more dated.
The transport within Oswestry and like around the areas is quite good, but we think there's needs to be like a train service.
And Mile End roundabout, it's not very pretty. It's quite grass and overgrown, and it can be quite busy, and people go see that. That's what they see when they come to Oswestry. It's the roundabout. We looked into the opportunities that are in Oswestry, so shop development, we could have more shops in the area that people will want.
More choices of accommodation, so more like in the centre of town, bring people into the centre rather than...
More high street brands, as there isn't that many at the moment.
More promotion for the town, like on Visit Oswestry and Visit Britain, and more promotion for Shropshire in general would bring more people in.
We also thought about the old leisure centre. It could be turned into some sort of youth club or something for younger people to go to. We looked into the threats in Oswestry, the money and crime, so we might not have as much money as other places to put into our community, and obviously the crime that can bring it down a bit.
Planning permission and nearby towns. Planning permission you have to apply for, and it could be a long wait and sometimes you get denied. And nearby towns offer more stuff than here.
Abroad holidays and staycations are also a threat because people may not want to come and do a staycation in Oswestry, and they might want to go somewhere else, like near the coast. And obviously people want to go abroad more than they would stay in the UK, so it causes a threat to the tourism here.
Tourism is very important to the UK. Overseas visitors spend around 2 billion a year in this country. 20 billion a year in this country, and they contribute more than 6 billion to the revenue to the exchequer.
When this is combined with domestic tourism, it makes the industry itself worth more than £127 billion a year, and it employs 3 million people. On both measurements, that accounts for around 10% of the UK economy.
We found all this on the Visit Britain website.
But some tourism facts, we looked into some tourism facts, they're from 2005, so they might be a bit outdated, but it still counts. So the total value of tourism in Shropshire in 2005 was £561 million.
Shropshire generates approximately 9% of the total West Midland regional tourism spend.
38% spend overnight visitors, and the other 62 are day trippers.
In 2005, 10.6 million people visited Shropshire.
12% of these were for overnight visits, and the other 88% are day visitors.
44% of the day trippers visited the towns, while 56 visited the countryside.
The main beneficiaries of the tourism trade are the accommodation providers, retail establishments, catering, entertainment and transport.
We looked at the things to do in Oswestry that are here already. So it's Parkville Farm Experience,
Towers, Church, Nottingham Castle,
Hawkstone Park,
Town Centre Shops,
Oswestry Park,
Hillfort in Town,
the Llangollen and Montgomery Canals,
and the Leisure Centre. Facilities available in Oswestry are Mile End Visitor Centre,
Oswestry Town Centre, Oswestry Town Tourist Information Centre,
chain and independent shops,
accommodation structures, hotels, guest houses, bed and breakfast, schools and catering.
Oswestry Leisure Centre?
The library.
Mile End and Oswestry Golf Club thing.
Restaurants and fast food chains such as KFC, Greggs and Prezzo's.
And the spas, which are the Lime Keys and Wednesday.
People will come to Oswestry for many reasons. These may include the shops and the facilities that Oswestry has, and it may be because they're looking for somewhere quiet and welcoming to spend a day or weekend.
In Oswestry, the surrounding areas, there are many areas of outstanding natural beauty, which is why a lot of people may come to the areas around Oswestry and the rest of Shropshire. And obviously the people that come to the area are quite varied.
Some of the visitors may be active and looking for areas to walk in, or they could just be looking for a relaxing getaway. In the busy cities, the Oswestry Showground brings many people to the area.
This is our first idea, so we thought we'd use a farmer trail, which would start with a farmer and a couple of farm animals at the Mile End roundabout. You'd then find farm animal statues around the town, which would then lead you to Park Hall and then maybe to Whittington Castle. We were hoping maybe the ironworks could design the animals and use them, and obviously it's like the similar trails have been used in Liverpool with the super long bananas and the rhinos in Chester.
Our second idea is to have metal flowers around Oswestry in like park as where people go, as it will bring people in during the winter as it's so pretty. They could be also around other places like the castle. Also have some bees and birds around flowers. This will also be made by the ironworks. Keep the town in pretty throughout the winter as well.
The third idea would be open days in the empty shops by local artists. This way you can the most out of the empty spaces, and it could also bring in people wanting to buy the empty spaces, and which would make more businesses within Oswestry. We'd use the local artists so we could promote them, both Welsh and English, and we could also have an arts and crafts week where we've got stores up the street or something, and it would bring in some money by people paying for the stores, but obviously it might not make that much money, but it'd be good for the community and tourism.
The fourth idea is using Whittington Castle as a perfect place for getting people to the area. We could use this by having music events on there for local artists. We could do a weekly barbecue or something. Obviously this might not be as good to get money into the area, but it's a good way of getting the community to work together, and then hopefully people might like it when they visit and want to move here and visit more.
Our last idea is to convert the old Leisure Centre or any derelict building into a museum to show the modern and historic side of Oswestry. The ironworks could use the space to show off some of their sculptures. It's closer to the town. It could also be used as a public workshop where people could go and visit and make items.
With marketing, obviously money is something that people want to watch. So using something like social media, Facebook and Twitter, that would save money as it's generally free. Or using the Visit Shropshire, just the websites, as they're free again. We could also put posters around Shropshire and Oswestry itself to promote things that are happening within the area.
The competitors that we have as a county are obviously other counties around us, which are like Powys and those in Mid Wales and other places.
The impact project will have in the local area. It will help bring more people into the area and attract more visitors. The project will help bring tourism to the area also. There will be no impact on the local environment and have a positive impact on the local economy, bringing in pay more money, which will help local shops and people.
Can I just say, what I would like to say is I thought you were all really good. I thought it was very impressive, and for me, a lot of your ideas I've written down and I'll go away with because I thought they were really useful ideas that we will actually consider using if we can.
Alison, would you like to address them before we announce who it is?
I think you all did really well. Really impressed with how you presented and the ideas that you have. So it's been quite difficult to choose a winner, and really just impressed by how much you've researched about tourism and your understanding.
Absolutely. So to finish off then, there's always got to be losers, hasn't there? And there's always got to be one winner. So
life's very hard. You're about to learn.
It's a very cruel world, and this is a lesson in that cruel world. So guys, we've been delighted. Lots of wonderful ideas that certainly everybody's going to take forward and discuss further. The video that Tim Mitchell Photography has created, did I get that right, Tim?
Spot on.
Is going to be forwarded to all the tourism committees and the associations in tourism with the help of Alison, so that we can all learn something from it. I think you're a credit to the college itself, and I'm just so sorry that not all of you can win something. We've decided collectively that Project Group 1 had a number of points that were quite outstanding, and somebody had to win. But to be honest with you, it was a very hard decision. All of you had great merit and certainly something unique. Every one of you brought something unique to the table. But somebody had to win, so we've gone with Project Group 1.
Shift me up. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Another one.